To be seeing past history and seeing where the ball is moving. We don't need reporters, we need leaders to move into the future. One more, a couple more. Okay, 3 more. Professor Goddard does not know the relation between action and reaction and the need to have something better than a vacuum against which to react. He seems to lack basic knowledge ladled out daily in high schools. This is the New York Times writing about Robert Goddard's pioneer research in rocket science in 1921. Robert Goddard is the man who's worked with NASA and helped a person onto the moon, okay? This is top, and the New York Times is saying he lacks basic knowledge. Now imagine if you'd have read that. I can't believe it. I quit. No man on the moon. Why? Because he couldn't handle a little criticism. If you can't stand the heat, you got to get out of the kitchen. As an entrepreneur, if you can't stand reporters of the past criticizing your idea of the future, the beautiful thing about an entrepreneur, as Peter Drucker said, is the best way to predict the future is to create it. Robert Goddard was not interested, didn't lose sight of the fact that it's true that nobody has produced a rocket to get into space. It's true that we don't know for sure what's going to happen until we're there, but he wasn't afraid to try the unknown. Drill for oil? You mean drill into the ground to try to find oil? You're crazy. A driller's response to Edwin Drake, who drilled the first oil well in 1859. In Texas, I think you guys would understand that one real well, right? But not in 1859. The experts thought that was crazy. Think about what ideas, what organizations are creating movements right now that the experts think are crazy right now. But in the future, it's like, well, yeah. Because all great ideas are first laughed at, mocked. Then they're fought, resisted furiously. And then they're accepted as, well, yeah, everybody knew that. And everybody can get on the bandwagon when, well, yeah, everybody knows that. Everybody knows you drill for oil now. But where was the opportunity? When the entrepreneur, when everybody thought it was a crazy idea. If you can't walk against the crowd, if you can't go your own way, follow your own convictions, if you have to be accepted by the crowd, then plan on getting the crowd's results. Last one. Louis Pasteur's theory of germs is ridiculous fiction. French professor of physiology in 1872. I could have read 10 more. It's stunning to me how many of the greatest minds with the greatest ideas were criticized by the smallest minds and the smallest ideas. One thing I've learned about being an entrepreneur is sometimes you got to be willing to walk alone. And you got to have courage to walk alone. You got to have the courage of your convictions. Be willing to go against the crowd. But if you're willing to do that, you might get there first. You got to go out on a limb, because out on the limb is where the best fruit is, on the tree. So get some courage. Be willing to handle the critics of your vision, because the critics can state and say anything they want, but it's the person who's acting that's going to get there. Let them talk while you walk. Richard Branson created Virgin Airlines, and he did so, it wasn't even his idea. The original idea came from Randolph Fields. He had a plan, and he said, And Richard Branson heard the plan. He said, man, that makes a lot of sense. He pulled together all of his managers, like 10 managers in a room, and he told them this plan. He says, man, I think we could do it. I've got the money. I think we should invest in this. All 10 of his top managers. You know what they said? 100% negative. 100, don't do it. It's crazy. We don't have any experience in that, blah, 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 blah. You know what Richard Branson did? Well, then I guess it's official. We're going to do it. Since he was the one with the money, his vote counted more. And he did it. And we've all heard of Virgin Airlines today.